What is one team that you think is getting too much love heading into the 2021 season?
Well, had you asked me prior to Carson Wentz's injury, I probably would have said the Indianapolis Colts. And I like this team a lot. I think it's a young, budding roster, but the unknown nature of Wentz's injury and how long, 5 to 12 weeks, that's a pretty big span. I don't think that's a fair answer anymore. So I'll go to a different team, and I'll kind of question whether, the Carolina Panthers, they've been getting a little bit more excitement, or some people feel like, okay, Sam Darnold gives them the playmaker they need. Joe Brady's a great play caller. They've helped beef up the defense the last couple drafts, added a few other pieces. Christian McCaffrey comes back. But to me, that's still a really tough division. I know it's a little bit unfair picking a 7-9 team, but the number of close losses they had last year, some often with the ball in their hands with a chance to win it, where they didn't come through with the victory. I've seen a lot of folks out there sort of say, well, hey, those are games they can now win, but it all pins on Darnold. And I don't know that I'm comfortable yet going in on him and saying, oh, sure, he's going to be a clear upgrade over what Teddy Bridgewater gave to him. So that's one that I would say is on the, over-optimistic side of teams that, may not quite be ready for prime time. On the opposite side, though, it's hard not to get excited about all the players coming back for the San Francisco 49ers and what Trey Lance could potentially give them at quarterback. I know Jimmy Garoppolo is the nominal starter right now. He may be the week 1 starter, but they're going to have a role for Trey Lance. His first reps with the first team were operating some quarterback run game. I'm sure they're going to get his arm involved. He's been throwing a lot with the twos as well. And just think, Nick Bosa and all those pieces they lost to injury on defense last year, they're all coming back. Kyle Shanahan, full array of weapons. I like this team to bounce back even in a tough NFC West.
You think that Trey Lance is actually in that starting competition? I know that Shanahan downplays it quite a bit, but I feel like you got to go with Lance. I feel like he adds more to the offense at that point.
It depends where Jimmy is and whether they feel like they can kind of carve out a role for Trey and kind of build him along. Remember, he's only 20 years old. He doesn't turn 21, I don't believe, until October 3rd or something like that. So still a very young kid, still somebody who had only 60 minutes of football last year, competitive game football last year. His freshman year at North Dakota State, they won a title. They went 16-0, but they also relied on him running the ball a lot. That's really what he's going to be sort of asked to do in a slimmed down role. Not too different really from what Jim Harbaugh did in San Francisco with Colin Kaepernick in his second season. So that's what I would guess things start out as. And if Jimmy doesn't respond, if he doesn't play well, if there are issues with him, injuries have been a problem for Jimmy, they've got no choice but to turn it over to the kid. And so far in camp, I mean, he's answered the bell, I would say.